everybody. Sorry for the small technical delay. We are back and we are live here from Thruxton. It's Keith Barrick again, joined by Scott Woodwiss. We just had to make a quick change to the screen. Scott, heading into qualifying here, which is going to be a Super Pole qualification. We're looking at seeing Andrew Waring at the top of the leaderboard, and it might be a little surprise a little later for him if he does do well today.
Yeah, most definitely. Of course, we can't reveal that to you now, Godfrey. It's just something that hopefully you guys will enjoy. So I think it's hopefully something that Andrew will understand, shall we say. But whether or not he finds it funny or not, I'm not quite sure. But I'm pretty sure it's going to guarantee to make you guys laugh. But yeah, he's currently top of the practice session. So I mean, there's a little surprise. It's kind of looking odds on at the moment. But I mean, Ryan Callan's in second place at the moment. We were talking just before we went on air that he looked like in the pre-practice, he looked like he was possibly sandbagging a bit. He's definitely showing his true colours here in second place. The THR guys are kind of darted around the top 10. We've got Davis in third, Talborg in sixth, and Ben Davis is down in eighth place. So with the MTR guys of Mike Bell and John Monroe, and also Francisco Villar's in there as well in seventh place. So also Miguel Netta's got up there in 10th place too. So the Portugal racing team definitely trying to make up for lost time after missing out in Lime Rock Park. They've definitely managed to get themselves look as though they're going to be quite competitive. Also Florian Strauss is down there in 11th place for 360 Racing. So look, going to be pretty interesting to see how they work out. Also, Karamadaro Bogdan's in 13th currently, as practice just about done before we go to the Super Bowl. But yeah, at the moment it looks to be, it's kind of a mixture of a few teams. Obviously, MTR's looking strong, of course, THR, Portugal, and of course TPS Sim Racing with Ryan Callan. So could be a pretty intriguing Super Bowl session coming up in just a few seconds.
Definitely, and we'll just before we do head there, we'll give you a quick view at the spotter guide created by Ryan Callan, which will give you a look into all of the cars that are going to be on track. You can see their name, their points, what they're sitting with, and it'll give you a little more of an insight into what it is, who it is you're watching when they're out there racing. But it is fairly easy to tell because of the live timing we have down at the bottom. But just as we head to qualifying, I'd like to give a big thanks to our sponsor, GamePod.co.uk, the longest running manufacturer of gaming rigs, for providing us with such excellent prizes that are unrivaled anywhere in sim racing when it costs you nothing to race. With the support from them, we're able to provide prizes on a regular basis to winners and also random draws throughout through people who compete in our leagues. So thank you to GamePod for all of their support. But as we head now to qualifying, it's 10 minutes, it's Super Pole, meaning that these guys are going to get one shot at it. Now, Ryan has told me that there's two ways of going about this. You can attempt to go out with your race setup and go out with, just adjust it slightly with lower fuel to try to just do a more stable lap. You can also attempt to jack the tires up with your tire pressure, but you run the risk of having the car push through the corners, but you're going to gain about maybe 2 kilometers per hour straightaway speed, which I don't know. It's a tough call. What would you do, Scott?
I would personally, obviously, I mean, I'm obviously all for going faster, of course. I mean, but I think really, for me, as wimpy as it sounds, I probably would play it safe because I would rather do the chasing but maybe start somewhere. Maybe start if it at least got me somewhere in the bottom half of the top 10. That's a decent result because that means I can still make up a few places off the grid. But you know, there's some guys out there will take some risks out there, of course, because that is essentially what qualifying is all about. It's one shot, one flying lap, essentially, and that's it. You basically got to put all your chips in and go for it. So some guys will go ahead and risk that. I mean, one of the other guys to go out, one of the top guys to go out already is Jesper Talborg, who's currently out there warming his tyres. He's about halfway through his warm-up lap. He's currently 6th on the timing board, so if you can grab him, he's
I will definitely
currently
grab him. Oh, he's
currently out there.
Okay, let's catch Talberg, who is one of the most decorated drivers in TouringProSeries history. As he goes around, you can see he's driving that nice THR yellow skinned orange. Sorry, they call it THR orange, I think. Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, THR orange. I'm going to call it yellow because it's definitely not orange. But Jesper and Toby being teammates, their THR orange skin as they head around this track here. Just little Jesper's not quite as erratic with his tire warming as some of the other drivers that we've seen, but he does get the job done, and he's going to come up through here. He's going to get as much heat in these tires as he possibly can before he does take to his flying lap. And it's what it's all about is the car needs to be at optimal performance for just one lap, one flying lap. And Everyone's been a little tight-lipped about what we should expect to see for pace here, but we're going to see very shortly here what kind of times these guys are going to pull out.
Most definitely. Not sure if we can quickly pop on board. We'll go with a lap with Jesper Torbjorn to go around this wonderful Thruxton circuit. It goes through the Allard corner, and he then heads up now towards this fantastic complex here. Just basically, just how prestigious this round is compared to other ones, of course, because Formula One's got Monaco, IndyCar have got Indy 500, NASCAR's got Daytona, V8 Supercars have Bathurst, and of course, us Touring Pro Series with Virtual Clios, we've got Thruxton, which is pretty awesome. So it's the one that everyone wants to win. So through the complex he goes. Then he's now going to base bumping over the curves. This is now the very fast bit. So basically, this is the high-speed section you go through here. So now he's going to head through. If I quickly have a look on my track map to see exactly where this is, he's now up to Noble there, and he'll start turning right here now through Goodwood. And this through Goodwood here, this long kind of back section, curving kind of straight, like, it's called Village. It's not really a corner, if you like. It's just one curving long kind of back section here. Then this come up towards the corner, which is everyone fears. This is the corner of doom, if you like. This is Church Corner, but 110 miles an hour they're flying through here, and this is the corner where it could all make or break a lap. Essentially, it looks like Talbot's got through pretty cleanly. A few times coming up onto the board already, but now down up, or I say up Woodham Hill now, which is the long back straight. Takes you under braking at roughly about 100 meters, hard braking in a straight line, and flick right, flick left, and then flick right again. Talbot very ragged over the curves, but he's going to come across the line. They use a little bit of the runoff area down towards the start and finish line, and Talbot then sets a lap time which goes to provisional fastest 122.7.
122.7 is it actually does. It's not quite as fast as last year's pole of Ryan Callan at a 122.6. Who do we have to still have out on track, or who's on a lap? We've got a number of guys just on their out laps now. Tommy Ohiala is just starting his hot lap. Gary Lennon looking to set a lap, but I'm trying to see if we have any of the top 10 guys. I know Davis is now out on his out lap.
We've got so we have got Andrew Waring just about starting his lap. So if you're not sure you want to jump onto him and onto his lap at the moment, he's currently going through Allard 14th in the standings, first one without a time at the moment. So he's now heading up towards the complex now, so we'll see if he can live up to practice pace and go quickest.
Yeah, he's shown an incredible pace all week. He's put in a lot of laps. I know Andrew very well. We've raced go-karts together in the past, and good old Canadian boy. So we've got a little spot in my heart, just like William Levesque. You know, Canadian boy's got to represent. But he will be looking not doing so well in the first sector. He does have a bit of a draft though, which is there's nothing against it. It's just there is no bump drafting in Touring Pro Series in qualifying. As he comes by, couldn't quite see who that was as he just went by. There was the number 24 car of Luke McDowell, it's 74. Was it 74? I can't see. I think I'm losing my eyesight. Andrew Waring now making up a little bit of time. He's only a 10th down, 10th off of Jesper Talberg for the provisional pole position as he's coming up Woodham Hill into club. He's going to go right, left, right one more time to set his one and only qualifying lap for the first race here in the third round of the Virtual Clio Series. Up a little bit of curb. It looks very clean through there. It kept the car nice. Didn't use too much of the runoff. Is he going to do it? Is he going to take the pole from Jesper Talberg? No. He lost 2 more tenths in that last sector. Now we got to get over to Toby Davis real quick here because I know he's just on his hot lap. As he's gone purple. He's half a tenth. He's half a tenth ahead right now of Jesper Talberg. See what he's got. What do you think, Scott? You think Toby can pull it off?
Well, he's taking a very wide line through that. He's trying to use all the track, I think there's something else we were discussing for the broadcast, is that Toby likes to use all the track, and look at that, takes a lot of curb through Church, and he just used a little bit of exit curb, flash a bit of headlights probably to one of the cars in front just to get them to move out of the way, so his life isn't spoiled. In fact, it's THL team at Chris Butcher. So that's quite ironic. The championship rivals, Davis almost gets his lap spoiled by his championship rival and teammate, but it's quite ironic.
It's actually a little cheeky because what he's doing is he's giving him a little bit of a draft on Chris does on his in lap, and Toby Davis is going to go through. No, he does not take him down. He does not.
So I noticed for a second, I think Eric Dwight has got his Clio stuck in the middle of the barrier on the pit straight. I think it looks like the ice cold racing car is teammate to Gary Lennon. Eric.
It seems he's got himself just a little bit stuck.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's That's what's done, as far as I'm aware, in the sim racing, is doing a Timu Toika, basically, because he's known for doing, basically, apologies for this, Chima, sorry if I embarrass you, but his connection's lag is so bad that he actually lagged through a barrier at one of the Race of Champions events a couple of years ago, and that kind of pretty much stuck. So it looks like he's done exactly that, but I've no idea what's happened there. Either that or his car is, well, he's not out on a warm-up lap, I don't think. Either he's spun or whatever. He's not actually moving, so
Here is,
I don't know if he's ever...
sorry to interrupt, Scott. This is exactly what we were just talking about. Look, the guy in front of him right now, that is Toby Davis giving his teammate Chris Butcher a tow on Chris's hot lap. So Toby's going to give him a tow all the way in, and then he's just going to disappear off the track as Chris carries a lot of speed in through club, and he's trying to take the pole away from Talberg here. And you've got THR 1-2. Are they going to go 1-2-3 here? Chris Butcher crosses the line. No, does not take it down. Talberg does his lap cleanly, I don't think with a draft, and still takes the pole away from these guys. So Talberg, Butcher, Davis, and then Dan Allenson slipping into the 4th position with Waring in 5th so far. Do we still have anybody out on track?
I believe we're waiting for Ryan Callan. He hasn't actually said his lap time yet. Let's see whereabouts he is. And he's actually on the back section on his outlap now, following Chris Hack. So he's currently actually last in the standings without a time, but of course he's now flying through Church Corner. And I think possibly that Talbot actually followed the strategy that you mentioned. Possibly he probably has pumped up his tyres. He's got a lot of tyre pressures in there to gain the extra couple of Ks. And it's amazing that even with the draft, Butcher couldn't beat it. He was just about 700th of a second, almost 800th of a second off the best time set by Talbot. So it's pretty amazing as Ryan Callan using a lot of the curb. These guys seem to take advantage of the huge curbs here on the final chicane as Callan comes across the line to start his lap. And these guys seem to be just absolutely hammering over the curbs. There are some little anti-cut kind of, if you like sleeping policemen, anti-cut curbs right on the inside of the curb, so they don't take too much to start taking advantage of that. But looks like maybe you have to. This is a circuit where you have to properly ride the curbs to gain the advantage and gain a little bit of time. But obviously, if you're taking the strategy where you're using too much of the tyre pressures, of course that is going to make the car a lot more snaky, a lot more kind of squirmy. And as you said before, these things are so light in the rear end because they're front-wheel drive. Literally, you can spin them around with your little finger and they will just spin 360. They're so light on the rear end. But Callan currently is hot lap, and how's he doing at the moment?
Callan is sitting 1/10 off. He's at 1/10 off. It'll put him right in the midst of a THR sandwich. It'll put him between Chris Butcher and Toby Davis, which is not it's not an unfamiliar place for Ryan, but he still could pull something off here as he comes to one of the fastest corners at this circuit. You know, he's 0.261 off, which is might even take him out of the top 5 if he loses any more through the final chicane here at Club. He's gonna be looking to slot it. He needs a good starting spot because these THR guys know how to work together when it comes time to race. And Ryan, he doesn't look clean at all. He seemed to miss the left-hander there going through Club. Comes across the line. Where's he gonna slot in? 7th.
Oh.
Outside the top 5, Ryan Callan. So that he is not going to be pleased with that.
He won't, no, of course, compared to last year where he took 2 poles, 2 fastest laps and 2 victories, the perfect kind of race weekend. That's definitely not what he was expecting. I think he was pretty quick in practice. Of course, it looks like he just, for some reason, maybe just took a bit too much curve, or maybe went slightly the wrong way with the setup in terms of maybe just over-exuded on the tyre pressures, maybe. He's lost in a bit of grip, but Ryan Callan down and back in 7th place, probably not exactly where he's expecting. He probably was expecting to be somewhere, at least in the top 5, but he's in the top 10 anyway. But, yeah, I mean, 7th place probably for Callan. That's probably going to be hard to take for him. He was expecting probably to be up there, but looks like at the moment no one can split the THR boys 1, 2, 3 in qualifying.
No, he's Eric Tvite's looking to at least get a decent starting spot from here. Tvite's been tearing up a bit of a storm, having some good runs. A great run in the World Touring Masters event last Wednesday. I'm sure he'll be pleased if he can get himself inside the top 10 and battle with these guys here at Thruxton, one of the greatest places to race in a Clio. As he comes up over in that Ice Peak, ice-cold racing car. Eric Tvite looking for a top 10. Is he going to do it? No, he lost too much time in the last sector. So 16th position for Eric Tvite. Not going to be pleased with that for sure. So
but it's amazing. sorry, was amazed that the top 17 covered by less than a second. So that's just how competitive the field is, especially on a fast circuit like Thruxton. So definitely these guys are taking advantage of the high speeds here. But it's amazing that this field, at least the top half of the field, is so close. We've got 36 cars. In fact, Eric Twight's been disqualified, in fact, from that qualifying session. So whether or not he left without improperly, I'm not quite sure. But Dwight, as far as I can see on the screen, got himself disqualified.
It does look like that. Well, we're going to be hopping to the warm-up standings here in just a moment. I'm just going to play a couple quick videos, and we'll be right back with you in just a moment.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be #1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
And we are back, guys. We're going to be doing a quick rundown here of the overall qualifying results, and Scott's going to take you through the entire grid to give you all the goods on who's starting where for this event. So, head on, Scott.
Thank you very much there, Keith. The case of the grid then, as it currently stands then, is be as follows. As far as I can see, it is going to be Jesper Tolberg on pole position with Chris Butcher alongside him in second. It's showing on screen is actually that we've got Dan Allison in third place. So I'm not quite sure how that's worked there, but it's Tolberg and Butcher on the front row with Allison and then Davis. It's showing on my screen third and fourth. Then we have Andrew Waring in fifth place. Of course, we're going to watch out for him, the rather rapid independent. I believe he's actually driving for MTR this weekend, apart from it being independent. Scott Servick managed to get himself sixth place. He's definitely an impressive run for Optimum Motorsport. Those guys are a relatively new team, I believe, in TouringProSeries Clios. Seventh place, Ryan Callan. Of course, we said about him. Was expecting a better qualifying result after his dominance here last year, but only could manage seventh place. We've seen someone drop out of the. Dan Allison has actually left the server. Then just go back down in eighth place alongside Callan Road Force Florian Strauss. Of course, he was known as Mr. V8 Supercar until William Levesque took that title away this season. Then we've got back down at the end of the top 10, we've got Miguel Neto and John Monroe. So good to see that the Portugal racing team on their return with Miguel Neto definitely trying to get themselves back up in there, and they've got themselves into the top 10, which is definitely a key result. Alongside him is John Monroe, of course, as well. And the results are getting messed up here on my screen because I've got times coming. I'll try the best I can with those. You've got likes of Gary Lennon and Chris Hack down there as well. Mike Bell's also in there too for where's he gone to? He's left the game, so it's not helping the fact I don't have RRDB up, but to see the times. But James Johnson's down in 17th place or so. He's down on the grid also, as is Jay Adji. So with these guys, are hopefully going to try and support their teammates here, but they'll do the best they can to help out their. Obviously, these guys must be the Nocturne guys, as the red and orange THR crews they're battling for positions. Other notable drivers, Francisco Villar's down the grid as well. Francisco Villar, probably expecting him to do a better result in qualifying, but couldn't quite pull that one off. And also Ollie Marius Mierveld was in there too. As you look down even further, Timu Toika's right down the back of the grid also too, as well. In fact, as far as I can see, I'm giving them the best I can in the order. We've got so far, obviously, we've got the likes of Hugo Gonçalves in there, Bradley Valiant, Matt Richards, Kenny Vedastonk, Diogo Lopez is quite a key driver as well in there too. Rob Musgrove in there with behind Petzold. Ollie Marius Mierveld, David Carter, Jonathan Asselklint, Tommy Ahala, Lucas Demolin, Bjorn de Haas, Alejandro Fernandez is in there too. Kamadaru Bogdan, I think, had a pretty poor qualifying session. I think we were expecting him to be a bit better up there after his pole in Lime Rock Park, but he definitely didn't seem to find the pace and didn't seem to really suit the high-speed nature of Thruxton. And obviously we've got the likes of Mike Bell and Dan Allison near the back of the field, also Eric Dwight too, and also so that's going to be pretty intriguing. Of course, Toby David up there too as well, so that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, we
But,
should see some fireworks up front, because the racing here, even though you've got teammates with the THR guys all bumper to bumper, anything can happen here when you get at these kinds of speeds running that close. I mean, we saw last season Tom Ely get into Levesque, and they were semi-teammates at the time, and it can happen. It can happen at any point, really. I mean, so we're waiting to see how this starts off, because when you get 36, 37 cars fielding here around at Thruxton, it's a sight to see. We've got a number of fast guys up at the front, a number of fast guys in the middle, and a number of the fast guys near the back. So we're going to see some good racing all through the entire Tyler field here today.
Absolutely. Like I said, the Clio's never failed to provide excitement and awesome close racing. And obviously we know that Lime Rock Park was an awesome race. Obviously, really short circuit, pretty narrow, pretty twisty as well, and it produced two fantastic races back there in rounds 3 and 4 on the second race meeting. Now we're here, just about to go, I believe, to the race now for 16 laps. Thruxton, now we're going for a slightly slightly larger circuit, but obviously now we're doing something a little bit different now. It's obviously compared to Lime Rock Park. It's a circuit that's very wide, very fast, very flowing corners, and we're going to be seeing some awesome races here. But 15 seconds away from the start.
Have a look at this though. I mean, there's so many Clios here at this event. We have them draped around Club Corner. We have got, like, because of the nature of the circuit and how many cars are starting here today, we are going to see people starting on a corner. So here we go. It's 0 seconds. We're waiting for the green. And we're taking off for round 3 of the Virtual Clio Series at Thruxton, and away they go. Chris Butcher's got off to a great start. He's going by, but Talbot, he's always had a bit of trouble at the starts here. Headed down into turn 1. These guys are going to be giving each other a bit of room, because you can see these guys are sharing the same colored skins. Ben Davis slotted up there from way back, and now Ryan Callan is up into 5th.
We've got a couple of cars off. We've got Lopez off from the cross. We've got cars off in the background, and one of them, I think, unless that's lagging on my screen, one of them is, so we've got Eric Dwight is out of the race already, and also Lucas Demolin's dropped right the way back in the field, but Eric Dwight is our first time already. That's a real shame for him after a poor qualifying session. But they're now going to head out onto the back section for the first time of 16 laps. So there's a massive congestion going on right at the back of the top 10. We've got the likes of, looking through them if I can get through them. We've got Callan's up to 5th place now. So he's leading a train of cars from Waring and Strauss, and then we've got someone wide. And that, I think, I'm trying to see who that is if I can scroll for it. It's Mike Bell's gone wide. So he's
gone way
already.
Wide. He's out there cutting the grass for free.
Absolutely, they're going to come church for the first time, and that is up the inside of Strauss, and almost tagged to the back of him as they go side by side up Wooden Hill for the first time. And look at the trio up front, 3 wide, and Ben Davis, it's a THR foursome up towards the club chicane at Woodham Hill, and Ben Davis is tapped. He may have just tapped Butcher, and somehow he got past him, and Callan nudges him as well, and Talbot's gone wide over the grass. There's more contact.
Oh wow, Talbot got the worst of that one, and as his teammates carry on, they're just going, thank you very much. Ryan Callan is now happy to be up into the 4th spot, but you got the brothers Toby Davis and Ben Davis, 1-2, followed by Chris Butcher, Callan, Nato. Great start for Nato and Team Portugal. Talbot, though, not going to give up. He's in 6th. He's still close. He's still got tires, and he's not going to slow down. Oh, look, everyone seems to be taking advantage. Dan Allenson try to go up the inside of him, and a little bit of contact there.
Into the complex again, and this is fantastic sight, this train of Clios as they head out the complex and onto the back section of the circuit for the second time. And looking here, see we've got Waring trying to get the inside of Talborg here, and he's over the curb a little bit, but Talborg shuts the door here. Talborg's like kind of resident Kimi Raikkonen, which by default means he must love ice cream, vodka, sleeping, and everything else.
We got some heavy defending going on up at the front here. Ryan Callan and Ben Davis are going at it. Callan's trying, look down the inside, got blocked. He went to, now he's looking to the outside, trying to cross over through Church, and he's going to do it. Ben squeezing him down to the inside, which that's not even really much of a straight. Little dirty though. Callan's is going to take some offense to that and probably force the issue here as he comes up into the final chicane. Oh, contact! Oh! He's off. Ben Davis has put Callan over into the wall. That is not a nice move there. We're going to have to see what. Oh, Callan is stuck on the barriers. He is stuck on the barriers due to contact with Davis. Let's see what that looks like on the replay. As they come in, Davis just comes up, across. I don't know, what's your call on that? It's a little hard to call here.
Sorry, I'd say Florian Strauss is in the barrier. There was some mayhem going up at the complex. He's off with the barrier Allard. He's pressed down to last place now. And looking at also, it was someone else he was tagged it with as well. I think it may have been Dan Allison. And there's more contact. Andy Roberts has had to make some contact with someone there. He's trying to recover behind Matt Richards. And literally, we said that Thruxton was going to provide fantastic racing. It's certainly providing something that's particularly hectic. As look at another two Davis brothers streaking way up at the front. And now in third place is Miguel Neto up to third place. He's actually gone wide on the grass. And look at that. We've had Butcher and Tarbuck almost following him. It's now the THR going side by side. The swap places now. Butcher now goes into third place now. Waring goes up the inside into Church. That's a brave move. Five abreast then. And we've got John Monroe on the grass then. We've got Sovic now behind.
is slotted in there too. Lennon's closing in.
Absolutely.
Bell's recovering now from his early excursion off into the grass. They head into the chicane here. It's very, very tight racing. I mean, there's hardly any room to maneuver when trying to avoid these curves and everything. When you've got 5 guys in a train, as Davis is off to the races here. He's 2 seconds ahead of his brother, taking the lead by storm. And Toby Davis might be seeing this as a potential chance to win his first championship. But Nato will be happy with a 5th place running spot right now. Waring, or 6th place, excuse me, and Andrew Waring will be very pleased. But I don't count these guys done yet. There's a lot of racing to happen still.
I love the fact that Toby Davis has gone, see you guys, you can fight amongst yourselves. He's now got a 2-second lead, which in the Clios is an absolute lifetime. He's up there and all up on his own with Ben Davis, his brother, in support, essentially in 2nd place, holding off Butcher, Talbot and Waring. As this trio behind the Davis brothers are now heading through, I believe it's Goodwood, and now up towards this back section of Village. And you can see Talbot then's got, he's literally shoved his bumper right underneath the rear bumper of up Butcher's exhaust, and they go into Church Corner, and look at Waring trying to go around the outside.
Is he gonna? No, not quite. No, but he's trying to take down 2 guys rather than just doing it. It's 2 versus 1 right now, and I think the 2 are going to win. But Butcher and Dahlberg look a little racy right now as it is. They're trying to chase down Ben.
So we've got Monroe and Miguel Neto. We've got more cars going in, and I think that's Scott Circuit going wide. As Gary Lennon goes, I think, over the curves a little bit, and now he's been pressured by Mike Bell. Bell's been tagged, and he almost goes to the pit lane as a result of being tagged by Francisco Villar. This is for 10th place now, as Villar now goes around the outside of Allard, but Bell keeps his foot in it. Oh, he's tagged Villar in again, and they keep going. Oh, and more body contact, banging panels, touching panels, down towards the complex now, and Bell's back on the inside of Villar.
Done it.
Boring.
No, and Villar just slots in. He's going to try it another day here because there's still some battling. These guys got to close in on the guys in front. Sovic, Lennon, Nato, Monroe. Monroe having a great run up to 6th spot, but he's a little ways back of Andrew Waring and the 2 THR drivers of Jesper Talberg and Chris Butcher. But Ben Davis seems to be kind of out on his own. Toby Davis is in a league of his own right now, as he's just out there driving, going to pick up groceries. He's just out there having a good time.
He's in the right car for it, as Waring they're going up the inside of Talbot against the Church. That's a brave move ever there was one, and they're going to go side by side up Woodham Hill. And Talbot seems to have the extra 1 to 2 kilometers an hour.
He's got
just about, yeah. He's got the draft now up a lot behind his teammate Chris Butcher, now down into the club chicane. Waring's going to try and keep his nose in, but he actually backs out of it and thinks better of it. As Davis looks like he got crossed up into the chicane. Now he's got his 2 teammates and Waring all stacked behind him. So now it's a 4-car train up for 2nd place now. As Ben Davis tries to chase after his brother Toby. He's now got a 2.8-second lead as they go into lap number 6. They've got still plenty of laps to go. And John Monroe's just fallen off the back of this battle of 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He's currently on his own in 6th, just a couple of car lengths ahead of Miguel Neto. As there's more battling going on, I think, in front, as these THR boys hold each other up in the process. Because Andrew Waring just sat there right at the back and thinking, if you guys make a mistake, I'm going to come and get you.
Well, Waring's looking extremely racy here, and I know that first round jitters, second round jitters, maybe they're all gone. Maybe it's his time to shine, and maybe it was a little bit of motivation he might have had at the start. He says he's down the inside. Oh, nice move! He just gave him a little nudge, got in. Now he's on the back of Butcher. He's got the draft. Talbot runs wide. Very nice move by Waring. Very, very, very tactful move, because now he's got distance between him and Talberg, and now he's got Butcher in his sights as Talberg seems to fall off them just ever so slightly. That was a great move, well before church too. So good, well done for him. But look, now you got Butcher down the inside of Ben Davis going into the final chicane. And look, Waring's going to think, he's like, how am I going to take both of these guys? Is there going to be contact? How can I do this properly? It's Davis. It almost looks like Davis just gives Butcher that room that he needed as they carry up over the curbs. Waring's looking very racy in a fourth running spot right now, potentially looking at his first top 3 ever in Touring Pro Series.
He's definitely staring at the back of these two THR cars to head through Allard onto the start of lap 7, and this trio now is really looking pretty feisty now as Butcher now has to hold off and brings down the inside, I think, of Davis. And Davis was very close, very quick to cut, but Waring's back up the inside through Cobb. And now into Seeger. Will he go round the outside? No, he backs out of it and stays into 4th place. But Waring is looking extremely feisty today. He's definitely had his spirits today, because he's definitely feeling very confident.
You know what? It's almost like he's got that one thing, isn't it?
He definitely has, hint, hint, but
yeah.
There he goes.
Another move in the same spot. He took Talberg the one time, clean move, sideways for Davis. Now Talberg's going to be all over the back of Davis. That was that's the second time he's done that. He passed Talberg there, now passes Davis, and he's closing in on Butcher. This man has the pace. Let's check. I'm going to have a quick look at his times now, because he looks to be one of the quickest guys out there. He ran a 22.9, which is almost the same time as Toby. He's only 0.005 of a second off of Toby, who is leading this race by 3.4 seconds, and he's now consistently running low 23s, whereas you got guys like Talberg, who's running mid 23s. He's kind of all over the place. So Waring might be the guy to beat here, but you know, as we say that, he starts to fade, and now you got Talberg on the back. He might have lost the one thing.
And what's amazing, that in the process for that, poor Ben Davis, on the space of a couple of laps, he's gone from what was 2nd back to 5th. Been passed by both of his teammates and Waring in the process, as Talbot now goes back up the inside into Campbell, into the complex, but Waring will hold the inside line and cuts Talbot's route to get past him for 3rd place right off, as that Talbot again gets a better switchback out the exit on Seagrave. Now they're going to head towards Goodwood, now towards that corner. Talbot's going to go side by side, but Waring will have the inside run as he just about squeezes Talbot out, but Talbot's not going to be done just there as they head through now. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Butcher, and look at that! Look at Talbot!
Side by side, right out to the outside of the track. Talbot is giving him a bit of room. Just maybe giving him a little, just saying, hey, welcome to Touring Pro Series. Get used to this.
That was effectively Talbot saying, anything you can do, Sunshine, I can do a hell of a lot better. He did exactly the same thing.
Look at the run he's got. Look at the run he's got. And he's gonna think about it on the outside, but I mean, Talberg's got Butcher there. He's got that buffer zone, as Waring is just having a look around the outside now. But Talberg seems to have picked his pace up a little bit. Waring's going to try to just regroup, get back on his bumper. He may be able to use Talberg to get by Butcher and carry on through and drop him, because the two of them seem to have closed up big time on Chris Butcher, who may be falling off a little bit. He's told me again at the start of this event, he told me he wasn't feeling very confident about this race, and I'm pretty sure I've heard that for every race he's ever done in the Touring Pro Series. Oh, what a move! Oh, way deep, way wide. Waring's through very easily. I'm gonna have a look. You know what? I actually need to see this one more time, because that's a misstep. I haven't seen Talberg make a mistake like that in a very long time. And he's just,
I think it's
clears through. Oh, he just completely missed the braking mark, went way too deep into the corner.
I think it's clear there's only one direction that Waring's going at the moment in this race, and it's trying to go forwards, as he's now right into the tail of Chris Butcher again. They're going up towards Church again. I think he's feeling daring. I think he might even try and pass it. He is!
Almost.
I think
he eases up.
He almost tried to pass this Church, and for that I commend him. As they head now, he's now got the toe now, and the Butcher is now pretty much all on his own. Hasn't got Talbot to support at the moment. He's back and forth, pretty helpless, as Waring has the toe down, would have held down towards the club chicane. But I think Waring's going to just sit back, just wait for another opportunity. And look at Talbot closing right up under the braking as they flick through the club chicane, just behind. And that's back in 5th place, and Ben Davis is falling into the clutches of John Monroe. So this means that John Monroe is now looking at a top 5 finish. If he can get past one of these THR guys, but like he's right into back lumber here. as the rest of the top 10 works out. Neto in 7th place on his return. Gary Lennon is 8th, ahead of Mike Bell in 9th, and Francisco Villar. So both of the races.
Is he looking?
Racing team
Wearing
cars.
down the inside. Oh, and I missed the camera. No, and he's done it. He's cleared through. We missed the moment, but what a pass by Andrew Waring, making his directional run to the front, and he's gone wide. He just, every time he gets a little advantage, he drops it. He can't seem to hold on to that one thing he needs to stay out front.
Absolutely, and Nicholas Butcher around the outside. Look at Talbot as well. Talbot's going to do exactly the same we did just a couple of laps ago. He's going to do it again, up the inside of Goodwood, and he's done it. So he's now up back into 3rd place now. So
I really want to give some airtime to other people here, but this is a battle where you've got 3 cars changing positions, like pretty well every corner between these 3. This is an epic battle. It's an epic battle of epic proportions, and this is a highlight reel. 3 wide, as they're, I mean, THR, and somewhat independent at this present time. They go.
No!
Waring's gone wide!
No!
Waring's gone wide! He's gonna get around.
Oh no!
No! I do not believe this. Andrew Waring has dropped it and hit those bricks of death.
And he's out.
And he is out.
That is such a shame.
Well, now that battle's settled down a bit, we should give some airplay here to Villar and Hack. These two are battling. I noticed this battle going on in the background. These guys have been back and forth a fair bit. You got Chris Hack. Oh man. So Francisco Villar for Team Portugal. Chris Hack in he's gonna for Core New Clio. Sorry. These guys have been battling for the last 3 laps here. Francisco
look at Villar.
Is back over. What a nice aggressive move, staking his claim on that track position.
Almost definitely.
Side by side. Some almost synchronized drifting between the 2 of these guys in front-wheel drive Clios around Thruxton.
Look at the fact that Villar just literally said, out of the way please, this is my 9th place, and just shoved Hack out of the way. Obviously in a friendly Touring Pro Series way, you understand.
Of course,
of course, I think just behind, but up 11th place we do indeed. We've got Scott Sovic, so did James Johnson no less. And Johnson I think is going to try and just sit back and get a tow, as he now heads up Woodham Hill. He's going to have the inside run now down towards the club chicane, just edging there, but I think he's going to try and nose it down the inside, breaks that a little bit later than Sovic, and he reclaims 11th, so he's just on the edge of the fraction of the top 10. He could possibly catch Hack and Villar in a little bit. His chances are running out because he's running out of laps now. We're on to lap 12, so we're inside the last 5 laps of this race.
Yeah, and here's not a very good story. Dan Allenson having a tough go here with had a great qualifying, but got into a little incident early on. Is back in the 13th position. He's currently sitting in 5th in points with Hack. Hack is actually behind him. So with Hack being 3 spots ahead, he could be looking at some trouble here in the points championship. Battle up front. We've got Gary Lennon and Miguel Nato. Battling very hard. Gary Lennon is raced in more races than Touring Pro Series than anyone, I believe. And Miguel Nato is making his Clio debut here in this championship. Also his rFactor debut, and I think he'll be very pleased with his performance so far.
Most definitely, and just quickly going back to Andrew Waring. I think if there was one thing he didn't want was to retire from that as quickly. Want to look back to the front because he's now got again Butcher and Talbot battling. Talbot's going to try and go around the outside and the braking, I think, into the club chicane, but now we'll try to switch back into the chicane though, as Davis and Munro battle away, as do both Neto and Lennon as well, with Mike Bell watching on in 8th, as Villar and Hack still go at it, and still do Johnson and Sovic. So these guys, they seem to be budding up almost. These cars are literally, they're in packs of 2 here. It's only no similar talent. Oh, just behind we've got Ollie Marius Miervold and Verdastonk. But a bit of bumper cars through the final chicane there, 14th and 15th.
Really? Oh, getting a little hasty through the chicane. Let's see.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Miervold in the pink machine there, up on the back of Verdastonk, looking down the inside. No, contact, sends him wide, and he's, give him a little room back, Miervold. No, contact again. These guys are getting a little bit hasty. give yourselves a little bit of room, because now what you're doing is you're actually slowing yourselves down. Now you're going to be caught by the guys who are a little further back of you. We'll do a quick rundown of the grid here. Darren Adams, Kara Madaro, Andre Bogdan, Heinz Petzold, Jay Adji, Dave Simmons, Lukasz Demelin, Rob Musgrove, Alejandro Fernandez in 24th, Richards 25th, Hugo Goncalves in 26th, Bjorn de Haas, who was a little ways down the reserve list. Glad to see he made it in today, because I know he did quite a bit of practice for this event, and good to see him racing back in Touring Pro Series. Andy Roberts 28th, Mike Bishop in 29th, with the retirements being Jonathan Oetzerklint and Andrew Waring, very unfortunate. David Carter, big one. We got Timo Toka, Diogo Lopez, Florian Strauss, Ryan Callan. These are big names. Tommy Ohala, Eric DeVite. Eric DeVite was, from what I understand, disqualified from race control. I don't know all the specifics on it, but back at the front, this is the man right now, 5.4 seconds ahead of the field. He's pulling a Ryan Callan from last season. He wants to get away. He wants to pull this off. Butcher, Thalberg, Davis, second, third, and fourth, and it's all THR up front. People, the other drivers got to learn to keep these cars underneath them so they can take these guys. These guys need to be dethroned. That they're just waiting for it. But Thalberg down the inside of Butcher now. Thalberg up into second, and now I have a text message from Mr. Andrew Waring himself, just reminding me to not say a word. So we still have one more race. We still have one more race to come, though. I'm rooting for Andrew. He's kind of my fan favorite for this season, and I do predict that he will pull a win off at some point this season.
Absolutely, and I'm afraid, in the answer response to Andrew, I'm afraid it's too late, Mr. Waring, and we've already taken advantage as we've now got Talbot and Butcher again side by side into the club chicane, and Talbot very ragged over the curbs there as they now go on to start the penultimate lap. And
look at the battle back here. This is it. Remember we were talking about this, Lennon and NATO having a chance to catch Monroe and Ben Davis. Now this is going to be a great battle to the finish, because if you look back now from Ben Davis through our GamePod.co.uk wing, thank you to GamePod, the longest running manufacturer of gaming rigs on the planet. He's looking back and seeing three very, very hungry drivers. As you can see, John Monroe, a new young talent here in Touring Pro Series, just on the cusp of greatness, I'm feeling, is menacing the back of Ben Davis. John Monroe is going to look to take as many points as he can away from this, because he's actually ahead. He wants to gap himself from Dan Allenson, who's having a very poor race here today, back in 14th with a little bit of mishaps early on. But look, as you can see, a little further back too. This is what NATO's seeing all over the back of him, is the ice cold racing machine of Gary Lennon.
Yeah, and they're going to head through. Look at this fantastic four-way scrap, as I believe Victor is just coming through the club chicane now to start the final lap. And it seems to be Talbot and Butcher seems to just spread out a little bit more. They're not exactly they're all over each other through the final chicane at the start of the last lap, but it is this battle from fourth place onwards as Davis gets very big. It's very wide on the exit of the club chicane. In fact, he's gone back off the circuit. Now Monroe's going to take advantage. They're going to go through Allard then, and Monroe tries to go around the outside. Not enough row, not enough grip, in fact, I don't think. As now slots behind and thinks about it again.
Well, these guys' tires are going to be gone by well off by this stage in the race. So they're going to need to. Hey, if you're going to do it, it's going to be a bold move. And NATO defending so hard right now. He does not want to give up that spot. He's trying to score as many points for Team Portugal as he can, and he's going to be very pleased with this right now, running in sixth position with Lennon just behind him. But we do have to give credit where credit is due. Toby Davis is going to be coming around to complete his lap. I mean, utter and sheer dominance, Scott.
Oh, absolutely. We haven't seen hide nor hair of him in this race, apart from up at the front.
I mean, we've hardly even talked about it. The only Davis we've been talking about is Ben Davis, who's in that battle back there. But I'm just going to quickly see what this is looking like as NATO gets down the inside of Monroe through Church, sideways, up onto the grass. I'm going to have to give Toby a rundown as he crosses the line. We'll catch these guys as they come through. Toby Davis comes through the final corners, flashes his lights in elation. Toby Davis pulls off a big race win here at Thruxton to start this event. But let's get back here as you got Talbot Butcher crossing the line in second and third. THR 1, 2, 3.
Oh, what happened? Netos off.
Well, we've
Neto
lost
was
Neto.
chicane. He spun.
Oh, look, the Team Portugal guys are closed up together. They're going to finish in the what? In the 8th, 9th position, I believe. So have a look at the replay. Give us a quick thing. A THR 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, there was contact between Neto and Lennon. Looking again. They went into the club.
They went. Sorry, you just cut out there for a second.
Sorry. So Lennon just didn't back out of it, and Neto turned across, didn't realise Lennon was still there, and Neto just spins round. So Neto gets spun out of what could have possibly been a 5th place there, and he has to settle for 8th place, come across the line just in front of his teammate, and Scott Sovic in 10th. But yeah, last corner shenanigans there between Neto and Lennon. I'm pretty sure Neto won't be particularly too pleased about that, especially on his return.
No, definitely. We've got, but one person taking advantage of this, Mike Bell, slowly but quietly made his way up through the grid. We didn't really talk about him all too much this race, but look, he finished in 6th position. Big finish for Mike Bell, massive finish, and followed by Gary Lennon, 7th. So if you look at the teams we've got here, we have THR 1, 2, 3, 4, MTR Racing in 5th and 6th. Big points for those guys. They'll be extremely happy with that. Portugal Racing Team 8th, 9th. Scott Sovic in 10th. Chris Hack 11th. James Johnson 12th. Dan Allenson 13th. Bradley Vanny in 14th, Darren Adams in 15th, Olmarius Mirvold 16th, Kenny Verdustonk in 17th, Karamadou Bogdan 18th, Heinz Petzold 19th, and rounding out your top 20 is Jay Adji. And these guys are now just finishing race 1 of this event. We've got one more qualifying coming up. Will be another Super Pole, and then we will be also heading into another race. So please sit tight and just enjoy these videos. We'll be right back.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Okay, guys, we're going to be taking a short break here. We'll be right back with you for the next qualifying. So we'll leave the guide up for you. Just hold tight. We'll be back with you in just a moment. And we are back. We are live. We are back with the man Jesper Talberg, as he seems to just heads right out in qualifying. No games, doesn't fool around. But he's going to be looking to take another pole position. Any predictions, Scott, as to who may take this pole?
Well, trying to think here. I think it's as boring as it says to keep predicting this. I think maybe it'd be difficult to look past any one of the THR guys, I think, possibly. Maybe Andrew Rowan can redeem himself and get that one lap in the one direction he wants to go, which is pole position, I think. Also maybe, honestly, if Ryan Callan can improve from the 7th place he had. His race ended very prematurely after he made contact with, I'm trying to remember who that was he made contact with, but
I believe it was was it a THR driver? I can't remember if it was or not.
I think so. I think it may have been Ben Davis. I think it may have been. I think, and that's what stacked everyone up. And of course, that's what led them to drop down behind his 2 teammates. I think it may have been he made contact with Ben Davis, but I think obviously Ryan wants to bounce back from this, so I think he'll definitely be going strong at pole position. So
absolutely, and also you've got also Andrew Waring will be wanting to make a recovery. You know, it was very unfortunate for him. We were rooting for Andrew in that go, because very new and very promising looking, but just got to get that job done. Got to find that one thing.
Absolutely. I think Ryan Callan actually decided this time he's not messing around. He's going to do exactly the same strategy as Jesper Talberg's employed. Just go out and just set the time and get it over with, because he's now heading through the fast chicane to start his lap time. So I know for a fact that Talberg is now on his lap, so maybe a good idea to keep an eye on Ryan Callan whilst Jesper Talberg goes ahead and sets
122.7 was the pole from the first go-round for Talberg, so that's going to be the time to beat. If Talberg can get below that, I can't see anyone nipping it. The lap record in these cars is a 122.656 by Callan, so, and that was last season when he was literally impossible to beat. So Talberg looking across the line, what's he got for this pole position? 22.795.
22.7 again.
Very consistent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There is Mr. Callan.
The only other one I can see that which finishing in the top 10 at the moment, I can see is Gary Lennon, who's finishing his lap time right now, and he's looking across the line. Let's see where he puts himself. Currently goes 7th, 124.082. But we'll try and pick up Callan then. Callan is, if you've got him, 31st. He's now heading now through Church.
And he's gone purple. He has gone purple ahead of Talberg. He's right now, this is where he needs to be. He's got one set of corners to go to potentially dethrone Talberg and start up on the front row here for this second race here at Thruxton in the 3rd round of the Virtual Clio Series. He makes the right, he makes the left, looks a little bit off. I don't know how much time he's going to lose there, using all the curve to the outside. Ryan Callan looking to take the pole away from Talberg. Can he do it? No. He loses all the time in the final sector. Not a bad lap, but still, just not enough.
He just can't seem to get a break here at the moment in qualifying, can he? Ryan Callan 7th now. Lap time that's about just over 1/10 and a half off the best that Talberg set. Looking down to see who else we've got out there setting times at the moment. I can't see. I know Toby Davis is currently out there right now. He is obviously a race 1 winner. He won by some margin. He's out there warming his tyres as he comes onto the back straight now. Chris Butcher's yet to leave the pits just yet. Looking at the rest of the drivers, if I can get onto them. Ben Davis is still sat in the pits. Mike Bell is still sat in pit lane 2. Neto is out there currently on his hot laps. Maybe we can have a look at him.
Yeah, there's the Miguel Neto for Team Portugal. Had a great run going, just got a little light incident in the final chicane there in the final lap. And people race hard right to the last corner. He only lost a couple positions, but still, would have been nice to see Miguel get possibly a top 5 finish there for him. It'd be his first top 5 finish in an rFactor race in Touring Pro Series, so it would have been a big day for him.
It would have done, and I think that it would have given him a lot of confidence coming into the second race. Not to say he was lacking it, he was definitely up there. I think definitely, although he'll have been slightly annoyed with the incident that happened at the last corner, he'll definitely be buoyed by that performance, the fact that he was pretty quick right at the end of the race, and he was challenging for that top 5, so basically who's to say he can't do it again, albeit with a decent qualifying lap, as heads up Woodham Hill towards that club chicane once again, and he hits the brakes, slightly just kind of like trail braking into the first part of the chicane, uses the curb on the right, flicks over the curb on the left.
Looks
Again,
clean.
It does, and up towards the line he comes.
And comes
And
across the line
Neto
in what position?
fourth.
Comes in fourth, and Andrew Waring slots into second, so that's where he needs to be. He's got the pace, but Nato into fourth position, but still not as fast as he'd like to be. Who else do we have on track? I think we've got Dan Allenson was quick. He qualified very well. We'll get back to him in a moment.
Yeah,
John
we've
Monroe,
got Davis, so
Toby
Davis
Davis
on the back straight. He got a toe off Butcher into the club chicane he comes in. And let's see what kind of time he'll produce. Again, Butcher returning the favour there. And on to the front straight he goes. And let's see, will he be able to take the pole from Jesper Talborg?
He does it!
Yes, he does!
Oh, wow. By 8 thousandths of a second.
22.787.
Wow.
Fantastic time.
But see, and you know what? There's something to be said for the teamwork of THR. And this is, again, these guys are working as a team here. I mean, there's nothing against what they're doing. They're planning their qualification run so that one finishes their lap, the other gets the draft off the other, and it's very clever. It's nothing. They're working within the confines of the rules and trying to use every advantage they possibly can. And now what you've got is you've got Davis giving the draft to Butcher down these long straights, and in these cars, these low horsepower cars, this makes a big difference. It especially helps you if you make a slight mistake to not fall too far down the grid. As John Monroe, you can see on the scoring there, slots into the fifth position, just ahead of Miguel Nato. But look at the speed difference from Butcher to Davis here as they go through Church. He's closing in. He's closed in almost, probably I'd say 15 car lengths, 20 car lengths, and that makes all the difference. As we can see, let's see if Butcher is purple, and this could potentially give him the pole. As we were following along with, I gotta get on board with Butcher as he comes across the line. Chris Butcher through the final chicane. Can he do it? Can he make it 1, 2, 3, 4? Sorry, 1, 2, 3. One more time.
Cross line he goes.
He does. He does. Chris Butcher into third position as he now is now it is THR 1, 2, 3. So these guys are getting it done in qualifying. There's no doubt about that, eh, Scott?
Oh, most definitely. Obviously, 1, 2, 3 for THR. It seems to be that Butcher may have just mostly lost a bit of time. Despite the toe, it looks like he just got it crossed up. Maybe my last chicane from what I could see. It seems to be that it's that last chicane that really seems to be the deal breaker for lap. If you mess it up, of course, it costs you a lot of time. If you don't, if you get it right, obviously then it's basically it can get you into pole position. Well, actually, it's interesting enough. We've actually got quite a few guys, a couple of cars out there that haven't actually started a lap yet. I believe they're probably out there. Ben Davis is one of them who hasn't started a lap to anybody. He is currently out there warming up his tyres. With just over a minute to go in this qualifying session. Florian Strauss also is currently on his hot lap as well. So is Chris Hack. Hugo Gonsalves is out there too. As well. He actually abandoned his lap, so he won't be setting a time. Eric Tveit is just about setting his and the number 833 Ice Cold Racing Clio. And he's now heading through the complex and up towards there. Some other drivers that have come through set
Very
times.
nice lap by Chris Hack.
Oh yeah, I was just about to mention that's Chris seventh for Chris Hack, 1:23.274. Definitely very handy for Mr. Hack there for Core Racing. So and also John Monroe said sixth place is doing quite. Miguel Netta's gone to 10th. Is down to 10th rather with his lap. So Scott Cervic also 9th. Dan Allison with a better qualifying this time, up to 8th. So he's definitely showing that he can have a better race this time. But with about 20 seconds left to go to qualify, these guys are going to set a lap time. They're going to have to get across the line practically now, otherwise it's not going to count.
Well, actually, no. As long as they've started their hot lap, they're okay. So, but Eric Tveit's going to be looking to start this race. I did get a description as to what it was. There was something to do with didn't let me start my original position, so it started at the back and pretty much since there was nothing I could have done. Quality, it was a track bug of some type. So unfortunate for Eric Tveit, but you gotta push those things aside and look towards the next race as he qualifies in 18th. But as I know from the last race I watched him race in the World Touring Masters, he can make his way through the grid very easily. Liam Jenkins and I were commentating on that event, and it was very, very entertaining to say the least. So maybe he'll be doing it one more time today, and me and Scott can be talking about it. As Ben Davis is now, I believe, one of the last men on track. I don't know if he has quite the pace to dethrone these guys up front, but I do know that he's got the pace to slot himself in there and be a threat. As he comes up over the final chicane here, up on two wheels, a little wide, might be a little bit of lag there, but as he crosses the line, Ben Davis is going to slot into 7th.
7th.
It's getting racy out there, Scott.
It is, yeah. I think Ryan Callan would be a little bit more pleased that he's into the top 5. He managed to get himself into 5th with the time that he set, but he's a little bit closer. In fact, he's in touching distance of Chris Butcher's time. He set a nice. Butcher set a 22.917 and Cal 22.971. So he wasn't too far behind. So hopefully Callan can not be punted off this time and definitely see what he can do. And also, the one thing that Andrew Rowan will be looking for is going to be at least a podium, I thought, after what happened right near the end of the race. So I think, like I said, there's only one direction he'll want to go, and that's forwards.
That is exactly. That's the one thing that he's going to need. So we're going to just take a quick break. We got 5 minutes of warm-up. We're just going to give a plug to our main sponsor, GamePod. Again, can't thank them enough for all of the things that they do for us. Ash over there is one of the greatest guys we've met in sim racing, and we thank them forever for everything they've done. So just bear with us. We'll be right back.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
All right, guys, we are back, and what we're going to be doing is running down the grid here. We've got three and a half minutes, and Scott is going to give you the rundown for this second race here at the 3rd round.
Absolutely, Keith. So here's the grid then for the second race here at Thruxton. Toby Davis on pole position, looking to resume where he left off at the end of the first race with the win. Jesper Talbog, his teammate, so it's an all THR orange front row. Then it's going to be Chris Butcher on the 2nd row in 3rd place, just behind with Andrew Waring in 4th. With the 3rd row being Ryan Callan and John Monroe. So Ryan Callan definitely, I suppose, he'll be a little bit happier getting 5th place. He'll at least want to finish this race this time. And those 5 guys were the only ones to get into the 122s. First, the 123s was John Monroe in 6th for MTR Racing. Then the rest of the top 10, Ben Davis sat in 7th place in the 4th of the THR cars. 8th is Chris Hack for Core Racing. Then row 5 sees Dan Allison and Scott Sovic. That's running out the top 10. Then the rest of some other key guys here. We've got Miguel Neto and Florian Strauss sit on row number 6. Row 7 sees Matt Richards and Heinz Petzold for MTR Racing and Core Racing. In 8th place, row 8 is going to be Kenny Vadastonk and Darren Adams. Then looking back to row 9, James Johnson really not enjoying this weekend. He's back in 17th on the grid, alongside the Karamado Bogdan, who again, he's not really enjoying here this place. Also Eric Tveit and Francesco Villar having tough weekends as well. 19th and 20th back on row 10. Row 11 is going to be Mike Bell, again, after his super effort to get to 6th in the first race, down 21st, so he'll definitely want to try and get a lightning star off the grid. 22nd, Lucas Demoulin in up there. Then row 12 is Bradley Vanian and Gary Lennon. Again, another man who was up there trying to challenge for the points. Back down right way back down on the grid. 25th and 26th, another THR car, Jay Adji alongside Mike Bishop. Row 14 is going to be David Carter and Rob Musgrove. Row number 15 is going to be Oli Maris Miobo and Alejandro Fernandez. And then rounding out the back of the grid there and looking at the likes of Diogo Lopez and Tommy Ahala in 31st and 32nd on row 16. Row 17 is Bjorn de Haas and Timu Toika. And then row 18 on the grid is going to be Dave Simmons and Jonathan Asserklint. And then back of the grid, all on his own in row number row number 19 is Andy Roberts for Core Racing. So he'll have an absolute mountain to climb from 37th and last on the grid.
Yeah, we have a big field here. So big, it is so big that we actually have to wind them around the corner in the final complex there, in the club chicane. They're actually getting back there, and as you can see in the background, those hay bales are non-movable. We saw 2 cars go into them. It's very easy to end up into those if you get a little wide and you kind of lose contraction, because you start to lose traction once you get out on the track. And if you're not paying attention, you clip one of those. You can, as we saw, Andrew Waring took off more than one thing off his car and ended up having to park it.
He did. Heading off into the hay bars, the cluster K was definitely the one direction he didn't want to be heading in that race. But nonetheless, we're going to be heading towards the warm-up very soon.
Yes,
and,
that we are.
Headed
towards the grid.
The race.
Yeah.
So I apologise for that. Looking at some of the race paces, some of the things so far. Currently top of it, it's actually priced to Florian Strauss. Currently top with a 1:22.7. Where's he pulled that one from?
That's a very fast lap.
That I'm pretty sure that would have put him at least on the front row of the grid, because
that would have been pole. That would have been pole.
It would have been. Yeah. 1:26, picked up by about 1/10 of a second. So where on earth Florian Strauss was hiding that lap time, I have no idea. But he's back down. If we can see where he is again, if we can get him up on there. Because I'm pretty sure he's just outside the top 10. I think he's about 11th or 12th, I think. But if he'd managed to pull that time off, he would have been up in a much higher position, of course, obviously. But now we can go to the next session to get ready for 16 laps then.
Yeah, it is. It is race time, is what it is. We just had someone drop from the grid. Chris Hack. Okay, no, he is there. As Toby Davis.
Ben Davis about.
Okay, we did lose Ben Davis.
Apparently, I'm not sure what it was. Apparently, there was quite a few people got. I think maybe they're just messing around to go and kick him. I think, but if we get back in, or I'd like to think, hopefully we'll get back in.
Well, we're going to be the lights will be going out very shortly here. I don't have my timers up, but this is going to be the start of the second race of the third round. These guys are going to be heading down into turn 1, looking to make up as many spots as they can. And Toby Davis gets away nice and clean. Jesper Talberg following suit, but Chris Butcher taking advantage of Jesper Talberg's slow start. And it's once again Talberg losing out on the start of this race as the field streams through. You can see in the background you got Ryan Callan there, Andrew Waring just waiting a little bit as Callan dives down the inside. He's up the inside of Butcher. Callan pushes him a little wide as Callan goes through. Talberg's through too. We've got, with 3 wide, Callan is up into second. Talberg's bumping him wide, and Callan goes wide. Talberg sends him wide. Andrew Waring slides in through. We've got 3 wide. Callan is the loser out of that one. He's back to 5th. John Monroe now taking advantage of it too. Callan was up to 2nd, back to 6th in the matter of 3 corners.
Toby Davis again taking this to an absolutely streaky way. He's already got a second advantage up at the front. But this is all kicking off behind. Amazing what I saw when everyone got to the first corner without any drama. As we're about to go almost 3 wide, as now we've got Callan up the inside of Waring and John Monroe following suit. Oh, side by side, they're bumping panels on the exit. And there's the he's been turned around. I don't believe it. No, not again.
It is Andrew Waring
over the grass. And he gets back on the track, and he's back in 15th. Podium. Oh my goodness! And back into the complex. Monroe's up the inside of Callan, up to 4th place. And that's amazing. That Talbot gets out of shape. Monroe down the outside onto the pit straight. Obviously, Davis leading Butcher 2nd, and just across the line, Monroe has 3rd place. Ahead now of Jesper Talbot. Callan standing 5th. Allison up to 6th. Hackstep, Florian Strauss already up to 8th inside of the top 10. Now we've got running out that top 10 is Miguel Neto and Scott Sovic.
Oh, contact!
We've got kept behind.
That is Jesper Talberg. Jesper Talberg was sent around into the contact. We've got cars everywhere. There's someone's. I believe that's Nato's lost his front clip. We're gonna have to look at this one more time because it got a little messy. As Eric Tveit, who qualified 17th, is going around the outside 8th position. He's up 9 spots in a lap and a half.
Oh no! Oh,
what has happened?
I think Callan lost it. Talbot's right off onto the grass, Rich on the inside of the second. I don't know where he's going. So
we're going to have to see
grass tracking, I think.
We're going to have to see a replay here because this got a little hairy.
Wow! Oh, more contact! Oh, Talbot, what were you doing? Oh, so he came back on the track and literally just sideswiped. I think it was Dan. Was it Dan Allison? No, it was Bogdan. He sideswiped the side of Bogdan's car, and that was pretty careless from Jesper Talborg.
I'm just trying to see.
Oh, his car's off. Oh, It's just chaos. It's absolutely Lennon's off. Gonsalves is off. Bradley Banyan's off. It was chaos up at that corner there. And how it was shoved out, I'm not quite sure. And my car's off. That's Bogdan. And James Johnson spun, but you can't look. Don't know where to look. There's cars everywhere.
Well, what has happened is we've got Chris Hack has taken advantage up into fourth. I'm pretty sure we missed most of what had happened. I was trying to get a replay of what was happening, but there seemed to be cars.
Yeah.
It was hard to catch what exactly was going on because it was.
Oh, and this has gone. Bearing and Sobek's gone too. What is going on with these guys? Sobek gets massively sideways on the exit.
There will be a big inquisition into the driver behavior of this. For the behavior there, you got to be a little easier. These cars are okay to race tight with, but you need to give each other room. There's a respect that needs to be given on track, and right now it's not being shown. But the guy who's really capitalized on this is going to be Andrew Waring up in 6th position after having a big off. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I think what you can say is that John Monroe is 2nd place. Look at him trying to challenge Butcher up towards Woodham Hill into the caution K. He fancies going up the inside. Is he going to be 2nd place for John Monroe? Oh, slight contact, I think, but just this time keeps it refined. Steady on, boys. We've got another few laps to go on this one. Only about to start lap number 4, and this is how it's shaken out now. So Davis has a 1.4 second lead ahead.
Strauss to the fastest lap. Florian Strauss on the back of with Florian Strauss, sorry, a little ways back as Monroe goes down to the inside of Chris Butcher. Book it. He's in a second. He's done it. Strauss, though, the fastest man on the track so far, who's just in behind these guys battling when he does have Chris Hack on his back bumper. But I mean, we're like a quick view. If we look at the timing, look who we've got back there. Scott Sobek. Who else? Jesper Talberg. Who else is back? Dan Allenson. All guys who suffered immense damage through incidents at the start of this race. Miguel Nato, Gary Lennon, Ryan Callan. The list goes on. Mike Bell, Francisco Villar. Just insane amounts of DNFs for such an early stage in this race.
Darren Adams has just gone out with bench and promises. Now they're going up towards chicane. It's now side by side again. Butcher then trying to get back up the inside. Wants that 2nd place back to join his teammate into the club chicane. Momo going to go defensive on the inside, but how much is that going to hinder him on the exit? We'll find out for a second as he covers, heads through the first part, through the second part nice and cleanly. And these two going after John Monroe in what looks to be his lifetime best ever in the Clios. He's a definitely up-and-coming star. 2nd place already, taking the fights to T8 Doughboys. Impressive stuff. Looking back, Andrew Waring's back up to 6th place, ahead of Matt Richards, with now Tavai 8th. We've now got Kenny Verdastonk and Scott Sobek going side by side into Allard for 9th and 10th. And Sobek does take that place. Diego Lopez just retired from the race.
Oh, Sobek's got Verdastonk all over the back of him as he's down the inside. Verdastonk down the inside of Sobek. Little hip and shoulder. Sobek's not going to take. He's going to try to hold it, and he's done it. Verdastonk has taken the spot with a little bit of force, but still nothing like we've seen earlier on.
Definitely not. And just looking back at that for a second, that Butcher literally, I don't know how much he wants to shove the front bumper of his Clio up the exhaust of John Monroe's Clio, because he's definitely given the big hurry up as they go through Goodwood. Now onto the back section. Strap. Maybe catching Butcher's to the inside towards Church. The backside of it. I think he definitely didn't want to risk ending both their races with a move like that. It can work sometimes, but you don't want to pull off something like that when there's absolutely no way now. Look at Monroe, extremely defensive right to the inside of the circuit. Butcher gets a massive toe and down into the complex, into the club chicane. Will Butcher sweep round the outside? No, on the right. Then the left. Then the right. Oh, he got Butcher on the inside. Drag race up towards the line. He's going to get the run now. I think he may just do it into Allard. Is always going to sweep across.
And Florian Strauss just in behind these guys. I'll quickly look back. That's the man coming. Florian Strauss just sets a fast lap of the race as Butcher clears by Monroe. Butcher has taken the spot, but these guys battling is allowing Florian, the fastest man out there right now, to get on these guys. And look, he's already there. He's there. This is no joke. He's there, and look who he's towing. He's towing Chris Hack. Chris Hack is there. He's just hanging on, and now Florian Strauss is in the midst of this battle, and he could be looking at the top 2 finish.
Absolutely. I've said this time and time again. any broadcast I've done, basically, the harder these two fight each other, the easier it's going to be for the likes of Strauss and Hack to take advantage of that and close in. And you can see already that Strauss is getting off the back of them as now Monroe gets another toe on the finish section down towards Church. He may try to move to Church. No, he does back out of it. There's Butcher trying to lap ago. He uses the example Butcher has and just thinks, no, I'm going to leave it, get a toe down the back straight. Bit wide there for Butcher and Monroe. Now here comes the toe then. Down the back straight, down towards that club chicane, and Monroe seems to have the slight edge in top speed now because of that draft. Down the inside, last of the late breakers into the club chicane. Thank you very much.
Look at how deep Strauss gets in there. Now he's all over the back of Butcher, and you can see, look at this great shot on the back here. You can see the GamePod logo, the TouringProSeries logo. Florian Strauss is going to be pushing on Butcher now, but now Monroe doesn't have just one, but he's got two to deal with, and if we look back, there's almost a third going to be part here in this tango. It'll be a four-way tango. As Strauss looking down the inside, not going to do it. Butcher breaks late. Monroe defends. Butcher, nice run up the inside. He's not going to quite do it there. These guys are now line of stern, three in a row here. As these guys, you couldn't put a piece of paper between these guys right now.
You can almost throw a blanket over that close.
Oh, yeah, literally, they're all getting into bed with each other. You filthy animals.
Steady on. This is a PG show.
Yeah.
And onto the back straight again. And literally, there are nose to tail on this section. And I don't know why, but it's probably going to end in tears at some point. That's probably context courtesy. It probably will. The Strauss goes to the outside. Trying to get around the outside of Butcher now. That's pretty risky. Into Church corner. We'll get the run. I'm not quite sure, but he's going to have a toe. He's going to get a double toe back off both of Butcher and Monroe. He's going to go to the outside now. These two fronts with battling, and how much does Monroe want to defend on the inside as Butcher thinks, right, I'll go around a long way this time, tries to out-break him. Strauss again going wide and then try and go deep again to get the cut back. As you said, whilst these three
and look,
along,
who's that in the background? That's Chris Hack.
Chris Hack. You can't miss him. You can't miss him. The bright pink Clio. You can't really miss him.
No, you cannot miss him. But here's the other thing. Okay, we've kind of been rooting for Andrew Waring. Had a tough start to this race. Tough end of the first race. He's 10.3 back of the leader, but he's only 5.7 back of Chris Hack. And if Chris gets into this, and you got a four-way battle happening, you might see him close back up. And you know, that one direction of getting towards the front could be the one thing that he needs.
Absolutely. The one thing he wants to take away from this weekend, I think, is a podium. That's definitely what we want to see him take away.
Exactly. I mean, even a top 5 to come away after having a tough go, we definitely want to have a word with him and find where his inspiration comes from.
Most definitely. But you can plain to see where the inspiration comes from these two back on the front, as they're definitely just in healthy competition. And look at Strauss. Strauss is getting the slight contact there with Butcher. That's clever. He's getting the toe off Monroe on the outside as Butcher goes to the inside. Monroe's going wide. And look at Strauss. Look at the 3 wide. And how did Monroe keep in front of Butcher there? How did he do that? He kept his foot in it.
This is going to happen right here. 3 wide. Into this. No. You know what? I like what Monroe did. It shows class and it shows a little patience. You know what? He knows that if he holds the outside hard, there's going to be contact. He knows that he's fast. He can stay with these guys. You could actually see he lifted off rather than force the issue, and a very smart move from Monroe. I give him praise for that because he has lost them a little bit, but he knows that it's not going to take much to get back on these guys. Look at how hard Strauss and Butcher are battling as Strauss goes down the inside, slides one up in, and book it. No, where's Butcher? A big crossover from Butcher, and he takes it back. And look, Monroe's strategy. Oh, contact on the outside. Butcher's trying to hold it. Can he do it? I don't know if he's got quite enough. Good shot here, as you can see these guys side by side, and Monroe in the background with Hack now. Hack trying to make his way by Monroe. Two young guns here. Let's see if Strauss can maintain keeping these guys at bay, because it seems that whoever's leading is in the line of fire, and now you've got a three-way group coming at you with Andrew Waring and Richards closing on this group of 4. So we very well could see a big group coming to the final coming up to the final lap here if this keeps going the way it's going. As you can see now, Strauss is under attack from Butcher. Butcher down to the inside in the final complex. Butcher going to do it down the inside. No, I don't think he's got it. He's gonna have to ease off. They're side by side, and he's done. Strauss holds it. Strauss holds true, and keeps it clean. And I give credit to Butcher for keeping his nose clean. It can get hairy and you can get a little aggressive when you get that close, especially in a tight corner like that.
I'm looking at the gap between Hack and Waring. It's roughly now about, I'd say, I think it's come down slightly. I think it's now about 4.7. So he's getting closer.
Slowly but surely. But I think if we look back, he is under attack from Richards, and I think I don't know, he might have suffered some damage early on too. Worn his tires a little bit, but he's pushing. But this is the big battle here right now. I'm going to quickly go back and have a look at some of the other guys. We got Eric Tveit, big run up from him. He's getting 11 positions. Florian Strauss gained 10 positions. Hard charge of the race is going to him for his run so far. Although Tveit has made more. Matt Richards making up 6. Chris Hack making up 6 as well. James Johnson making up 8. Kenny Verdastong making up 4. Adji, Ohala, Musgrove 12. 18 positions for Tommy Ohala. Be very happy with that, and I know I actually saw his he posted on Facebook, I believe, saying he wasn't too happy with his first run out. So this will definitely make up for that. And then Talberg, the Iceman, is struggling to make up some positions here as he needs points, hoping to redeem a championship potential in this here in the Virtual Clio Series.
Alright, it's really stacking up with the front guys here. Now Butcher was all over the back of Strauss once again. Across the line they go, and literally they go pretty much as one over the line, and then pull away just a little bit slightly from Monroe and Hacker again in their own duel. It's kind of like tandem driving at Daytona or Talladega in NASCAR, because everyone seems to be just in duos. So I mean, and just going along with anyone that person that isn't a duo though is we've completely forgotten about him. Toby Davis with a 5.5 second lead.
I know,
it's crazy.
And look, he is
completely forgotten about him.
Chris Butcher is literally pushing Florian Strauss here as they're trying to maybe get a little bit of a gap from these guys. As Monroe, as we look back, Monroe and Hack are right there. In the distance, you've got still, it's a 4.8 second gap now. So the gap not closing as fast as it needs to for Waring to potentially battle for a top 5. But one incident, one sideways incident, it's 2 seconds, easy. You know, you go through church sideways in a synchronized drift. In Clios, that will give you the gap that's needed to catch back up. As Butcher is just menacing the back of Strauss as they head into the final complex. Butcher doesn't seem to be as racy now. Just as I say that, he looks down the inside as Monroe comes in deep. Hack seems to, I would say right now, Hack probably has the better car of these guys, is because the hard battling that's happened between these front 3 guys.
Strauss is very wide on the exit of the last corner as they go through Allied once again on lap 12. So we're into the last 5 laps of the race, and this is basically what it's going to be. I use the term very loosely, do or die stuff now. As Butcher's now going to try again, just did he tag Strauss? He got very sideways under brake. He's over the curves, and how on earth did Strauss keep that's a great piece of car control over the curves, bouncing over the curves there. But Strauss holds on to second for the moment, but he's now being menaced now on the back of his car by Butcher, as you said, and also now Monroe and Hack are going to go side by side. Hack going to try and go, maybe look around the outside. No, he's holding on for the moment. These guys, again, they're smart, they're patient. They're going to try and wait for the best opportunity they've got is to stay in this tow, try and find a right line. If they can afford to, and if they want to try and risk it, maybe try and move into Church. But they know that the ideal opportunity is going to be get a run out of Church, onto the Woodham Hill Straight, up towards the club chicane, and try and get onto the inside as best as you can, because that's the ultimate passing place.
Well,
after you're going to get it, and Butcher's now going to try it now, I think.
Yeah, after these guys go through the final complex, I am going to head back, because I do see a couple battles on the timing sheet that I want to get to. Scott Sovic, Jay Adji, as Butcher does late into the complex, and they're side by side. I think he's done it. He's booked that pass. He goes up over the curb. Strauss, very clean, but they didn't lose a lot of time as Strauss gave him a little bit of racing room. Very nice pass by Butcher. Late on the brakes. I'm just going to quickly bounce back. If you can watch that on your screen, just to kind of let us know what's happening if anything crazy happens. I'm going to just quickly go back because there's a battle I've been wanting to get to. Jay Adji, Kenny Verdastong, Scott Sovic.
It's getting it did get a little bit hairy. I think Butcher may have lost one of his wing mirrors, I think, as a result of, I think he has, as a result of that contact. Because now that Strauss is now under pressure there from Monroe. Strauss is squeezing him to the edge of the track and almost tangling between the two of them. That was a bit, that was rather stringent defending there from Strauss. as they head now onto the back section once again, through Goodwood onto the village park and up towards church again.
And this is Strauss on the back bumper of Butcher again. You've got, well, right now look at this is quite the battling we've got. We've got Chris Hack for Core New Clio. We got MTR Gold. We have 360 Racing, and we have
look at Monroe. Up the
Monroe.
inside of Strauss getting a toe off Butcher. How clever is that?
Is this going to happen?
He's got the inside again.
Into the complex. No.
Oh.
Monroe pushing Butcher through, using that draft. Very clever move. But in the background, who is that? Do we see? We see Andrew Waring. He's closing. He's closing. Now we're on the penultimate lap. We're starting the penultimate lap here, but anything can happen here. Chris Hack seems to be just kind of waiting it out. I don't know if maybe his pace is off a little bit, but he hasn't seemed overly racy like these guys. I think maybe he's waiting to take advantage of something. As John Monroe looks down the inside of Chris Butcher, is he going to do it? No. Butcher cuts across on his nose. Florian Strauss gets a run on Monroe now. Strauss going to be looking to cut back and get a run, but Monroe is going to have the draft of Butcher as they head down this fast portion of the track here. Again, now Strauss is looking down the inside. It's going to be the outside once they go through this quick bend here. They're going to go to the left here. Monroe's got the inside. Strauss still holding true on the outside as Hack is holding back slightly. But Butcher's gone. And now Strauss is through. I believe Monroe might have just lifted a little bit to give him some room. Don't want to get too racy yet. They got to catch Butcher. That's for a second spot finishes. Monroe just right back at Strauss saying to have that.
Oh, there's more contact. Strauss got pushed wide through church. That is one of the most risky moves I've ever seen. And now look at Chris Hack's looking pretty racy. Now look at this. Butcher's just be bolted. We'll see you guys. I'm at this battle here.
He's enjoying this now.
I'm going to leave you true to battle now. Is there Monroe back up the inside? I think also Strauss. Hack also in the background trying to look as well. And how much is battling going to lose some time? Because look at Waring is getting ever closer in the back. And that's a bit of lag there, a bit wide on the exit of the chicane. But how much time? It seems to be that Waring loses quite a bit of time in that last sector. The gap as they go across the line now is between Hack and Waring. Looks like it's 3.4 seconds. So he is getting closer. He's only got 2 laps. Tries to get his nerves back up the inside of Butchers. They all close to braking again.
This is going to be a little hectic here because we've got Toby Davis. We're going to have to give him. We're going to have to pop to him as he crosses the line to give him his due. But Florian Strauss, as soon as coming up, this is the final lap, is it not? Or penultimate lap. Sorry. Okay.
There's one more lap.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so there's still time for something on it. As Strauss goes right in on the back of Butcher, we could see fireworks here closing out this second race here of the third round in the Virtual Clio Series.
I could definitely. It sounds harsh, but I don't know. I could just sense something's going to end in tears here, either this chicane here or somewhere around the final lap, because these guys are so close. Yes, they're clean drivers. They respect each other, but I just have a feeling that someone's going to just have a lapse in concentration or lose their braking point. I hate to put a context curse on it, but down into the club chicane for the penultimate time, and Butcher's holding on with all his life now at the moment. Strauss is all over the back end at the moment, and same with Monroe holding on Chris Hackett. Hack's up the inside. I think he's got a better exit out of the club chicane, and he's going to go for 4th place here.
Yeah,
and the Core Racing driver, he's got it. So Hack then up to 4th place, the better move then up the inside. And
this is where it might happen. This is where it's going to have to, because Butcher's defending hard as Strauss tries to slide it down the cross back over around the outside. Is he going to do it? Butcher's going to run him a little wide. He's got some overlap, but I don't think he's got quite enough of a run. He's going to need to fade back a little bit, get the draft.
Look, look behind. Look at how much Andrew Waring's closed in. He's about 1.2 seconds behind. This is on the final lap. He's managed to take advantage of all of this. I'm wondering if something happens between these. Literally, something happens with one of these 4 guys in front.
Strauss is wide.
Strauss
went wide.
Just said that. Strauss is wide.
We're going to have to count Waring's through into 5th, I believe. Yes, he is. Okay, but we're going to need done it. We're going to have to go to the man of the hour. 2-race winner. Well, hopefully the Hack and Monroe battle we won't miss too much, but they're side by side into the final chicane. We'll know what happens. But Toby Davis pulling it off, taking the second win. 2 wins here at Thruxton. He will be extremely happy as he flashes his lights crossing the line for THR. Chris Butcher crosses the line in 2nd. Next, we're going to see Chris Hack pulling off the 3rd place finish. Well done to him, and having John Monroe in fourth, with
Fourth.
Andrew Waring pulling across
Waring
in fifth. He's extremely happy with that.
He's done
Florian
it.
Strauss will not be pleased. We don't know exactly what happened. We will have to wait and see what comes about that later on.
I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can go back and have a look at the replay and see
Okay.
exactly what happened. I'll have a
If
look
you can
quickly for myself.
pull that back.
Yeah.
Because something happened between him and Butcher when he went wide, I believe through Church, maybe some contact.
Let's have a look.
You have a look. Let's see what happened.
Oh, now this is interesting because I'm looking at it here, and I think either Strauss was too opportunistic, or maybe there was contact. And it looks to me, in some cases, maybe Butcher may have slightly. Oh, let me go on board here. Now, did Butcher slightly move across on Strauss here? I think either this is a very loose accusation here. Either Butcher moved across ever so slightly, or Strauss was a bit too optimistic and just ran out of road. I think maybe, to be in the interest of fairness, I think it's probably the latter, because I don't think, knowing Chris Butcher, he wouldn't have done that deliberately. I don't feel he may have just moved across the defensive position, and if he did, as a result, force Strauss off, maybe he wouldn't have done it intentionally. I don't believe he would have done it intentionally. But to me, it looks like Strauss just ran out of road because he was trying to go round the outside. He tried to go up the inside through Noble towards the back section, and just completely ran out of road. Now, Butcher was right on the line that he was on, but I don't think he was doing anything that would have prevented him from going past in a legal way. So I think that definitely it was probably a legal move. But
well, it'll all be shown in the highlight videos, and I'm sure it'll be discussed at length. But definitely something to be taken away from the event. Driver behavior definitely going to be something to be discussed. My thinking is definitely I'm thinking a drivers meeting pre-race for everybody, just to get everyone in the same mind state. But let's do a quick rundown. Toby Davis, Chris Butcher, THR 1-2. Chris Hack, Core Racing, very good finish for him in third. John Monroe, MTR Racing in fourth. Andrew Waring in fifth. Florian Strauss, 360 Racing in sixth. Matt Richards in seventh. Jesper Tolberg making a comeback, getting back up into the eighth position. Eric Tveit in ninth, big run up for him. James Johnson in 10th. Jay Adji 11th, great run back for him. I believe he gained almost 20 positions from his qualifying. Scott Sovic for Optimal Motorsports, 12th position. Kenny Verderstonk in 13th. Dan Allenson 14th. Rob Musgrove in 15th. Lukasz Demelin 16th. Heinz Petzold 17th. Jonathan Otzerklint 18th. David Carter 19th. Timu Toika in 20th to round out the top 20. For all the results of this event, you can go to results.touringproseries.com and see the full detailed results. Once the race is completed, we will have them posted up. They will be unofficial to any type of penalties. So we're going to take a quick break here. Just hold tight, guys. We're going to just give a quick video, and then we're going to get to some driver interviews, find out how everyone's feeling after this event. So please hold tight.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
And we are back, everybody. Thank you for staying with us here for this event. It's been eventful, to say the least. Some great driving, also seen some poor driving that does need to be looked at and discussed. But we do have our double race winner here, Mr. Toby Davis. I mean, really, there's not really much more to be said about your performance. You did pretty well everything perfect. Let's talk to me about how this event was going for you, your preparation and everything.
Well, I'll start with preparation. Ryan actually helped me out with a bit of advice. So excuse me, for Thruxton before the event actually started. And I've obviously watched his YouTube video and stuff, so I've got to thank him mainly. But yeah, it's just got a gap in the first race. I don't know what the other two THR guys in front of me were doing at the start. Excuse me. But I got a flying start and managed to get down the inside into turn 2, so then I pulled a bit of a gap whilst they squabbled, and pretty much the same happened in race 2. Obviously, I nabbed the pole by a few thousandths from Jesper because of the draft off Butchie, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that, and I couldn't have dreamt for a better result here.
Well, it definitely is good for your championship hopes, also for your team championship as well. I know that means a lot. I think the drivers' championship though is something that's it's been eluding you for a while. Is it something you're really shooting to try to win this championship?
Yeah, definitely. I really I'm confident now after that round, especially since Butcher's missing the round he is. But yeah, I never would have dreamt I'd be in this position before the season started. But it's good to be here, and it's good to be doing what I'm doing and be up there in the championship, especially looking at the team's championship as well with red and orange. You'll have to excuse me, I'm kind of ill for this round.
Well, I figured that might have just been an excuse just in case you had a bad race.
I mean, it was lined up, don't worry about it.
I know, I kind of got that, but no, well done, Poby. I mean, phenomenal. You did a hell of a job today. So
I did a Ryan Callan on Thruxton, right?
You did. We were talking
Almost.
about we were talking about it. You did amazing. Actually, Florian took the fast lap from you in the final race. But
Oh, did he? Oh.
yes, he did. So Scott, I know you want to talk with Chris Butcher.
Yeah, I've got Chris Butcher here. Chris, not a bad weekend for yourself. You got yourself a second place in race 2, and also I think you got a podium in race 1 as well. I'm trying to remember the race 1 results, but so a decent weekend all round for THR. You seem to be keen on just battling your teammates quite a lot. You seem to be got caught up with them quite a bit. Just talk us through how. Just first of all, just talk us through how race 1 went for you.
It was all right. I mean, Thruxton's my weak track this season, so to be on the podium in both races, I'm absolutely ecstatic with. But race 1, yeah, you're right. It was just sort of battling with teammates, really. I mean, I was a bit disappointed with a few drivers not leaving much room. I'm not going to name names in here. But I was trying to work with people to close the gap down to Toby, and it just wasn't working. And I was finding with Jesper, we kept having to go past each other to sort of stop the people behind us getting through. So that plan didn't really work. And I was trying to do the same thing in race 2 with John and Florian, but they weren't really thinking the same way as me, and decided they wanted to battle and sort of gifting Toby the win. But third and second, I'm happy with that.
And just going on to race 2 as well. A couple of points I wanted to try and go through. I think you managed to come through what seemed to be a rather just chaotic first couple of laps. I mean, first of all, did you get two questions really? First of all, did you see at all what was happening in that first couple of laps, and can you maybe see how that kind of played out? And also, right at the end, you just noticed it looks like that you and Florian may have had a bit of a slight incident which saw Florian go wide, and he actually went down to 6th place. So, were you aware of that at all, and can you give us a bit of insight on that? But first of all, do you know at all what happened in the first couple of laps? Can you talk us through that?
I'm not too sure what happened. I mean, on the first lap in turn 2. I was already committed to the turn, and I saw Ryan coming in pretty deep. He obviously made contact with me, but that's as much as I know really. And then I know that Jesper seemed to give him a bit of hip and shoulder and put him on the grass. I'm not really too sure what happened there. I'd have to have a look at the replay. But then I think the next lap, I'm not sure whether it was lap 2 or lap 3. I saw Jesper had been turned around, but I don't know what happened there. But coming on to Florian. I saw he went on the grass, but from my point of view anyway, there was absolutely no contact at all, and he just seemed to sort of get it wrong, trying to get a run on me, and drove off onto the grass. So.
Well, fair enough. Well, credit to yourself. Very, very good to get yourself a third and second place today. Well done, and congratulations, Keith. I believe you've got John Monroe with you.
Yeah. John, well done today. 2 great finishes, some great racing, just all around. I did notice a few things where maybe it was just from my point of view that I saw that you battling with Chris and Florian at one point. I think in race 2 I saw you actually just ease off and give room. Were you thinking that okay, if I just give these guys room, I know I can get them back? Like, was that kind of your thinking?
Well,
in that section in particular, I think I ran wide through Church onto the grass, and I had read in the rules before that you can't gain an advantage. And because they got side by side, I was on the outside, and it was my fault. And I thought there's no point trying to battle out. I've run wide. I gained an unfair advantage. So I thought I'd give them positions. It felt difficult, but it was fine. It worked out in the end because obviously Florian went off at the end, and I got a good result.
Well, you got two decent results here today. I mean, you got to be very proud. The points championship now looks very promising, definitely for you. Obviously, with the fact that Chris Butcher is gifting a full event to the field, it does put you right now. You're going to be sitting just ahead of Jesper Talberg in the third position. So it's not out of question that the second place, possibly even a win if Toby struggles. How do you feel about your championship going forward?
Well, I'm definitely not expecting the championship. I'm aiming for a top 5 now. I've changed my. I mean, from the start of the season, it was really top 15 I was aiming for. But obviously now that I know I've got slightly better pace than I expected, still top 5. Jesper, he had some difficulties today, but we know how good Jesper is, and I'm sure he'll get me back. And also Chris, he's going away, but he's not going to lose too many points, and we know how good THR are, and I doubt Toby's going to make too many mistakes. So I'm definitely not expecting anyway to be sitting top 3, but if I can hold on to top 4 in the championship, I would be delighted.
Fantastic. No, you did great today, and I just want to say well done. Did you want to have a word with Ben Davis, Scott?
Yeah, sure thing. Ben, you seem to have a pretty up and down day today. Of course, you're battling again mostly with your teammates, and obviously I think maybe got caught up in some of the battles that happened in the second race as well. Just talk us through your weekend as a whole. Seems to be the first race seemed to have a bit more competitive edge and was up there in the top 10, and obviously the second race we seemed to kind of fall off a bit. Just talk us through what happened in both races.
Well, I went to the event not actually done a single lap at all. I mean, I joined the server at about 7 o'clock, I think it was. So yeah, I was quite happy to be somewhere. I think I qualified 5th, I think, in race 1. Got a reasonable start, got up to 2nd due to the slight shenanigans going on in lap 1. But yeah, then Chris just had better pace than me, so and I wasn't going to battle with him because I'm obviously completely out of the championship, and we're out of the team championship as well. Unfortunately, Tom hasn't had good results, and he wasn't racing today. So yeah, I let him go, and then I just let Jesper go as well, and that obviously meant Andrew Waring went past as well as he was battling with them. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the race 1 in the end. We had contact with Ryan on that 1, I think it was, or I haven't looked at them yet, but I know that he wasn't happy to say the least. But if it was my fault, I can apologise. But I don't think I did a huge amount wrong. I just on the inside, and then he just tapped me and then spun. And then unfortunately in the second race, I did indeed fall off a bit because I didn't actually take part because my internet was too bad. So yeah, it was just too dangerous for me to race, which I can understand, although it was very disappointing.
Excellent stuff. So obviously going towards the next round of the championship, which forgive me, it actually it escapes me where it's going to go. So let's have a look quickly. Sorry.
It's Poznan, I think.
Poznan.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Excellent. Poznan. In that case, going to Poznan, I mean, are you hoping for? Obviously, you've said you pretty much renounced yourselves out of the team's championship. Are you hoping for a decent enough result just to try and get points in the drivers' championship, or do you still believe you can still try and push along for the the team's championship at all? Do you feel that that's completely gone now?
Well, I haven't really spoken to Tom Ely, to be honest. I mean, he's been absent today. I'm not quite sure the reason, but yeah, I'd have to speak to him about it. I think it's a long shot now, to be honest. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been sober the last weekend. Last weekend I was racing at Croft, so yeah, I had a chance to do any practice, which is a shame. But certainly something that I will be pushing for at Poznan because I enjoyed racing there last year for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hopefully going to put in a lot more practice for Poznan and hopefully get some good results for the rest of the season.
Excellent stuff. Well, best of luck. Obviously, congratulations and commiserations for today here in Thruxton. Keith, I believe you have Andrew Waring with you.
Yeah, Andrew is new to the TouringProSeries, completely new, new to PC sim racing as well too, and was showing promise in the first race. I do know that he put a lot of effort into practicing this weekend, in preparing for this event, and I actually was asking him what his motivation is behind, like, his getting in the zone and racing. And I actually, if you look up on the screen there, I received a text from him that explained exactly what his whole thinking is. And the text reads, "I just want everyone to know that I, Andrew Waring, driver of the number 6 MTR Canada Clio, listen to One Direction before I go on track to get in the racing mood." And without further ado, here is One Direction.
Oh God.
Introducing Andrew Waring. Andrew.
Wow.
You pulled off an incredible comeback to a 5th place. Was this song playing in your head the whole time you were out there?
I was singing it. I had the microphone on mute the whole time.
Well, I mean, I know you were. I can only imagine how frustrated you were in race 1. But does it feel does it feel kind of relieving to finally get that kind of good finish out of the way?
It does, especially after a silly season like I've had, just joke after joke after joke of race by mistakes by me, whatever it is. Race 1 was disgusting by me. I made that huge mistake, and then I thought I would be able to get through, and then I destroyed the front left of my car, and I just tried to refocus on race 2. And
well, you definitely did. I mean, you had some adversity at the start, but you did get to take advantage of some incidents that did happen, and it was, I think, a couple more laps you might have been able to even squeeze out a little better finish. But definitely, now you will forever be known as One Direction, One Thing, and you will enjoy watching this broadcast back. I can guarantee you.
I think I'll get Matt to put One Direction whole band on the back of my car just for that reason.
Right on. Well, well done today, Andrew. Look forward to seeing you in the next events. Thank you to all the drivers. We're just going to close off here with just some Touring Pro Series news. We have coming up, our next broadcast will actually be the World Touring Masters at Laguna Seca. That'll be next Wednesday, the same time as we just had this event here today. It'll be me and Liam Jenkins in the booth for that event, and it should be a very, very good races. If you missed the first round, you can catch all the action on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TouringProSeries. The next mini event will be on October the 13th. The next mini event will be our following broadcast, which will be October the 13th at 23:15 GMT. That'll be commentated by our new commentator, Danny Asbury, who's just kind of stepped into the role. That'll be from Curitiba. So if you don't have anything to do, or if you do, cancel your plans and make sure you're watching. We have basically covered everything off here today, Scott. Some good racing. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, most definitely. It was a great couple of races. Obviously, definitely lived up to the kind of racing that we had in Lime Rock Park. In some cases, even better because we had the slipstreaming down the back straight. And it is just a shame that some of the driving standards did let race you down, and especially in the beginning. And hopefully they will get sorted out for next race. Hopefully. But yeah, apart from that, really great racing today. Good to see Toby Davis absolutely dominating this evening's race. 2 races and. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So again, once again, been a pleasure to commentate with you, Keith, and I'm looking forward to 2 weeks' time in Poznan.
Yeah, me too as well. That'll be the next event for the Clios. Big thanks to GamePod for all of their support. GamePod.co.uk, Facebook.com/GamePod. Check them out. They're one of the longest running manufacturers of sim racing rigs. They're the biggest part of our sponsorship for all of Touring Pro Series, so we can't thank them enough. Also, InsideSimRacing.tv for all of their continued support. The forums, the mentions on their TV show. Check them out. Also, Facebook.com/SimRacing. Sim Race TV, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but you can also check us out at facebook.com/TouringProSeries, and for all information, make sure you like us there. You'll never miss anything. So thank you to everyone. We'll leave you with a video, and we'll see you next time.
Woo!
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.